friends, and welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten. This is episode 213, and we are about to start talking about the holidays. That's right. It is Q3. It's coming up to Q3, and I'm going to share today 5 ways to get ready for what I think is the most important time of the year to set yourself up for a phenomenal Q4. So Q3 being July, August, and September, and most of our sales for most of us come in October, November, December. So setting yourself up for Q3 is one of the most important and critical things we can do. But also it's a time when we also want to take the foot off the gas a little bit, maybe slow down if it's summertime. And I'm going to share with you some ways we can do both of those things at the same time, because it is important to make sure that we are successful in Q4. So now we have to get ready and do the work for Q3. So without further ado, let's jump into today's podcast. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. All right, first of all, my friends, I have to share that I have been trying to record this podcast for about 2 hours, and there are seagulls going mad outside my window, and also construction going on in my neighborhood, and I have waited as long as I can to do this episode. So I'm laughing because if all of a sudden we have seagulls singing in the background, you'll forgive me, right? You're okay with that. It's real life. So my editor is really great, but probably can't remove all of the seagulls. Anyhow, let's talk about what we're here for today. And it's Q3 planning. So we are getting ready for July, August, September, which is what Q3 is, the third quarter of the retail year. Fourth quarter being October, November, December, when we're making the sales. What I like to remind retailers that I work with is that, and what I've seen from my experience and what we've probably already experienced, or you may have experienced, we don't have time to do a whole lot of things in October, November, December, other than serving our clients. We're working, we're doing, we're serving, we're making sales, we're making the dough. That is when we are so busy. And there's not a lot of time for planning in those 3 months. However, July, August, and September, there's time, sometimes a little bit of maybe leeway, but it's also a time when a lot of retailers just want to maybe coast a little bit. And no shade on you if that's you. And I say coast because we make assumptions that it's going to be quieter in summer, maybe not in your area, but we're doing our thing in the summer for the most part, again, depending if you're in a touristy area or what part of the world you're in. But July, August, and September is a critical time to set the stage, if you will, for October, November, December. So we can have a relaxing summer, or we can have a foot off the gas a little bit if we want to, but we need to make sure we're also planning ahead for what's coming in Q4, because we won't have time then. So this episode, I wanted to just share some takeaways or some big broad strokes of what we should be planning for, what you could be thinking about planning for, and what I think are critical elements in getting ready for Q3. So what we should be doing in Q3. That's what I'm trying to say here. I did an episode 162, with a big giant list of all the things that you can do with detailed lists in Q3. We also have episode 112, which is a mid-year review. And I explain that in detail, I guess, about what a mid-year review is. So those 2 episodes are there for you to go back, listen to them. We'll also link them here in the episode. Today, I wanted to kind of go with the broad strokes, as I mentioned, of what I think we should really be paying attention to as we're getting ready for what's coming in Q4. So what I happen to love, and you may have heard me on the podcast share before, is I like to front load as much as I can. So that's what we want to be doing in Q3. We want to be front loading. We want to be doing as much work in advance and have the benefit of doing that maybe when it's a little bit quieter. So one of the first things that we want to do is we want to get our house in order. We want to get our house in order. And so the 5 areas that I think we're going to need to work on to get our house in order. So we're not winging it. So we're not reactive. So we're not running around with our head cut off. So we're not, just trying to do all the things and then missing opportunities and not set up for success. And we want you to be set up for success. So no more winging it. How determined you are determines your outcome is a saying that I love to say, even though that sounds funny. But how determined you are determines your outcome. So if you're determined to get your house in order before Crazy Pants Q4 comes, we have to start now. We have to make sure Q3 is in order. So one of the first areas is the physical area. Let's start with an easy one. The physical part of your shop this is a great time to start making any changes that you need for Q4, any changes that you want. Sometimes in the summer, it's a little bit time. Maybe it's a little maintenance around the shop. Maybe it's completely moving things around. And I don't just mean remerchandising. Maybe we're going to move the counter over to a whole new, or the cash wrap over to a whole new area. Big shifts in our in our workshops, or big shifts in our storage rooms. Maybe this is the time to get the storage room cleaned up. Actually, this is the time to get your storage room cleaned up. Bonus, if you have a summer sidewalk sale, let's get that room cleaned out and our inventory organized. But physical changes that you want done in your business, this is a great time to think about it during the slower pace of summer. Another area is processes. So processes and systems, always the dirty word. Nobody likes to talk about that here. But I share regularly that I like to think of systems as being like recipe cards. So what are some recipe cards? You can write some things down so that we can repeat the recipe. We can copy it over and over and over again. Things that we're running in our business, things that we're doing in our shop on the daily, that we could just make things a little bit easier. What processes can we make easier? This is a great time to start thinking about and identifying that. We don't want to be making shifts and changes to things, again, looking ahead to the busy season of Q4. So in Q3, we want to really start paying attention to those shifts. One thing I wanted to mention as well too, right now, this is the greatest time, for all of these things. This is such a great time to do what you said you were going to do. Learn the new skills you were going to do. Dive into some things that you've been putting off. This is just the time to do it. So maybe that is in systems. Maybe that is in moving things around in your shop. Thinking about stop putting things off and start being determined to get the results that you want. The third area that I want you to pay attention to, or I think we need to pay attention to, well, I shouldn't say I think, I know, is in our team. Learning to delegate, giving away things, understanding where your time is, trusting your team, making sure they're all on board, hiring your team. This is a great time to reassess what your needs are for your team, who can do what, looking ahead right through until January or February. What are your team needs? What do they need? What kind of training is involved? Where are you with your leadership skills right now? This is a great question. Are there any updates that you need in your training and leadership skills for yourself? I've worked with a lot of clients lately who that's a big part of it. That is they need a little more confidence, or they need to know what they should be working on and what they should be delegating. These are things that we want to make sure that we are paying attention to in Q3. Number 4, marketing. Okay, we know we need to be marketing. But what I'm seeing a lot with retailers is not marketing ahead, not planning ahead. So this is why, again, my clients in the inner circle, my one-on-one clients, our mastermind clients, my VIP days clients, we work on understanding our marketing needs. So our marketing needs come from our financial needs, and we're going to talk about that next. But we really need to be putting a marketing plan in place. Stop saying you're going to and Get it done. Get your customers' journey, like your whole funnel in place. What are you doing to attract new customers? What are you doing to engage? What needs to happen for sales in store? These are things. What are we doing for repeat customers, new clients? What systems do you have in place? Putting and being intentional about your marketing is going to set you apart from your competitors. Let's repeat that. Getting marketing in place is going to set you apart from your competitors. This is proven over and over again. We all know this to be true. Stop making assumptions that customers aren't out there. This season, more than ever, you need to be set up for success. We need to stand out. You need to have your forward-facing assets in order. And what that means is doing an audit on all of the things. Your forward-facing assets are all of the first impressions. So your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, all of these things are crucial. If you're a member of the Inner Circle, there is an entire audit inside the Inner Circle. You can check yourself, go through your whole checklist, make sure your assets are in place. This is critical time to do this. Doing this in July, August, and September will help you with your marketing in the holidays. You'll be rememberable. People will find you easier. There's a whole lot of reasons we all know, but just hoping people find you and just hoping that social media is working. No, get your email list started now. Warm up your clients. Be the one that they want to choose when they're ready to do all their Christmas shopping. If they're not ready now, or, just if it's a little bit slower, this is the time to set yourself up for success. Again, with your email, with your promotional planning, with all of your forward-facing marketing assets. Again, all of the first impression things that people see and they want to know about your business, or even when they drive by, understanding all the things that need to be in place. It's not rocket science, but what happens is I hear a lot of clients jump to assumption, and maybe I shouldn't say a lot of clients, a lot of retailers who are not clients. My clients all know it's important to have marketing in place and what marketing pieces need to be in place. But if you're making assumptions that people are not going to shop this year and, oh, why bother? Or, if you build it, they will come, which is not true. We have to be the chosen ones. We have to stand out. We have to know what makes our brand unique. We have to dive into marketing. So I want to encourage you to make sure that this is the time. If all the things you said you were going to do to make your business successful, if you're struggling, I want you to pay attention to your marketing. Marketing is crucial to have a really good, strong marketing plan in place. Okay, the next one, the biggie. The one I saved for last is the biggie. Number 5 is, for the love of all things wonderful about retail and your business and your enthusiasm for your gorgeous shop, please lift up the hood and look at your numbers. This is an area that I feel like I'm getting all preachy about here now, but this is an area that so many retailers are putting off learning how to go deeper in. And I talk about this all the time here if you're a regular of the podcast. And thank you, by the way, if you're a regular. But we need to make sure we are looking under the hood and understanding our revenue plan. What do we need so that we are making profit, so we are meeting our payroll, so we are paying ourselves? What are those real numbers? And what do we need to do to get there? That's the marketing part of it. So we need to have the right inventory with the right margins. We need to understand what our POS system is telling us, what things are looking like, what our expenses are. We need to know where the money is going. This will also help us understand where our time is going. And if you're thinking, this is a lot of work, Wendy, I don't want to do it. This is your job. This is what you signed up for when you bought a retail business, but it's also the one that we're less enthusiastic about. However, once you get started, you will feel great about your numbers, I promise. This is a great time to sit at the beach, to work on your numbers, go on the porch, have a cold beverage next to you, whatever you need to do. This is a great time to really dig in. June is an incredible month, and then getting ready into July is an incredible month or incredible time to level up those skills of your own, wherever you are in that area. So what do you need for your personal number? Like, what is your monthly nut, as we like to say? What is the nut? Like, what do you need? What does your business need? What are we going to spend? Where are we spending our money? If you're waiting for a nudge, this is it. If you're waiting for a nudge from the universe to tell you how to make changes in your business, this is it. This is me here telling you that this is the time that you can do it. Just spend the time doing it. So this is something I help people with. If you need support around that, we can do a 90-minute strategy session. We can sit down and work on your 90-day planning. We can have a VIP day. There's no excuse not to be working and moving forward in understanding your numbers or what it is you need to get clarity on in your business. If you're an Inner Circle member, we have all of these documents for you. We have 90-day planning, which goes through your numbers. We have, what else do we have? We have full content, social media planning, like everything you need so you can look ahead for your marketing, your promotional calendars. We have Canva graphics inside the Inner Circle. I mean, this is not your money stuff, but this is all things that will help you ease through these 5 areas, right? Through marketing. But I do want to remind you that this is a time to skill build. This is the time to get your house in order, as I mentioned. So it is June. It is quieter in some areas. Some of the J months can be a little quieter, and that's maybe making an assumption on your part as well. Does it have to be? I have clients who refuse to have J months that are quiet, so it's almost they're almost gamifying that they refuse to have those lower numbers. They're making their monthly nut because they know their numbers. They're applying marketing strategy, consistent marketing strategy. They're going and doing the things. They have a promotional calendar in place. They have a plan in place. They know what they need to do to get where they want to go. And back to that whole line of they're determined. How determined they are determines their outcome. So how determined are you so that you can determine your own outcome? Wow, trying to move around that a lot. That sentence a lot. But this is where I get a little frustrated with clients. So I feel like it's getting a little bit, I don't mean to get I sound like I'm getting frustrated. I'm not frustrated. I am excited about the possibilities when I see this happen, when I see attention applied to understanding the numbers. So I'm going to recap the 5 areas we really want to make sure that we're working on in Q3. So that is your money. We're going to peek under the hood, shine a little light under there, see what needs attention. Being an ostrich isn't helping your business at all. If you've got your head in the sand or you don't wanna, or all of those things, we really want to peek under the hood and look and see what that could look like. And it can be very exciting to get comfortable and confident in that area. The next area is your marketing. We want to make sure that you have marketing plans in place right through until January. Now, one of the things that's going to help you or could help you with this as well too is our holiday boot camp, which is coming up, and we'll be launching that in July. So please stay and watch for that. We have a whole holiday boot camp and that will be coming out in July, but this will get you started for Q3. Your processes, so your recipe cards, again, just think of it like recipe cards, really thinking and having a look around your shop, the way things are happening, the way things are operating. What could be easier? What would make this easier? We get in a routine and a rut sometimes with the way we do things. So what could we simplify and make a little bit easier? This is what our processes are. And you will be on fire and empowered when you start creating processes and recipe cards for your team, I promise. Then the last one was physical changes. So what are the big physical changes? This could even be under physical changes. We love to add, even maybe new inventory products coming in, that kind of thing. Things we have to make room for, maintenance around the shop, all of those little things and big things that we should be doing or could be doing in Q3 versus they're just not going to happen. You and I both know, if you've been around this retail world for life, things are not, nothing's happened. If it's not done by September or mid-September, it's just not going to happen. So take the time and the energy to get these things under control now in Q3 when it's a little quieter, when you have a little bit less panic maybe, or less, busyness, if this is a time of a little bit quieter. And a reminder that it doesn't have to be quieter. Again, we get to choose what we put out there and what happens with our business. We get to decide by taking action And I want to encourage you to make sure you're taking action towards the results that you want for your business. And again, just a reminder, this is what I do with clients. We can work one-on-one together. There's lots of ways to get support. Again, we can work one-on-one together. Join the inner circle. The Retailer's Inner Circle is the easiest and has all of my resources in there. You're free to ask questions anytime. We have lots of wonderful things coming up over the next few months. We have a Retailer's Inner Circle Appreciation Month coming up. I'm laughing because I don't know if I've even mentioned that to anybody yet, but there we go. It's out now. Lots of things. The holiday boot camp is coming up and you get free access to that if you are a member. We have all kinds of other quarterly planning. All of these things happen inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. Or if you're more of wanting one-on-one or hands-on support, reach out. You can find all my resources and how I serve people at wendybatten.com. And I just want to remind you that we appreciate you being here, listening to us every week on the podcast. So we always have these resources for you as well, too. We are going to link episode 162 with a big list of things you can work on in episode 3, episode 112, which is a mid-year review. So in June, we always love to do a mid-year review, check in on our goals, see where we are. This is a great time to do that. Again, a little bit, just take some time out of your business, work on your business, not just in that busyness of your business. And here's to you and a wonderful Q3 ahead. I am so excited about all of the feedback we're getting about all of the goals and all of the wonderful things our retailers are working on. And I am excited to hear what you're doing. So connect with me over on Instagram. Let me know if this has been a helpful episode for you. I'm at Wendy Batten Biz on Instagram. Chat, jump in my DMs, chat, let me know if these episodes are helpful to you and what you're most excited about going into Q3. I'm always excited to hear what you're most excited about. Those of you in the inner circle, let's continue the conversation in the inner circle. Thanks for joining me, my friends. We'll see you next week. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you were here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.